Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is D, and today's tarot card out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Queen of Stones and the Queen Bear. That's kind of how I look at it. And as I've talked about before, the bear, she's a protector of the land. She's also a protector of her cubs and anything else that comes along until she's ready to let them go. But when I see this card pop up, it reminds me of being protective of what I have, and not in a security sense or less. It's more of the things that I do have. I'm being very protective of. I like to, I've got a nice house. I like to try to keep it nice. I've, my relationships, I try to be protective of my relationships, the people that, that are in my life. I continue to, try to strengthen those relationships and be protective of them, and in this time of crisis right now, it's, I'm reaching out to my son and my daughter and, my mom and, those that I love. And, just checking in on them, asking, how they're doing. And that's kind of, how this Queen of Stones, this bear, takes on stuff. And, the crisis continues to move forward. And we continue to, try to survive it. So, the Queen within this decks, are more nurturing queens. Anytime I think of the bear, walking through the woods with her cubs and very nurturing of her cubs, willing to defend them at any cost. And, the other picture is, trying to catch that salmon, that queen of vessels. The two queens both pulled out this week. And, it's interesting to note that, one's, willing for self-sacrifice, the other one's self-preservation. Doing whatever it needs to take. Again, the stones is materialism, security, stability, and bears are protectors. They like to hibernate, and they're coming out, during the springtime, and out of their hibernation, mating, looking for the male bear, and looking for opportunities to eat. They're also about richness and plenty and. They're very popular with all, and they're very dependable. That's kind of how, the bears come across in my mind. But as a person, this is going to be somebody who's practical, welcoming, prosperous. They like luxury, loyal, frank, likes tradition, and, could possibly be that hoarder. And, the other thing I talk about too is, this could be a Taurus in your life. Tauruses are very materialistic, very stubborn. I shouldn't say stubborn. They like their security. They like their stability. They really don't like change too much. But they're very down to earth, very practical people. And this is, if you see a person that's in your life that's very practical with their finances, very practical with, their home, very practical with their vehicles, you could see it in the way they just, the clothes that they wear, how, their practicality and, how they feel prosperous with, what little they do have or with what lot they do have. They take their stability and their security very seriously. And, they'll do whatever they have to do to make sure that they stay within that stable, secure character. Okay, as they move forward. If this is an aspect, it's managing things wisely. This could be somebody in your workforce that is, looking at, making the hard decisions during this time of crisis to, how do we, keep our business afloat? What do we do with our employees? All right, how do we manage these people in an aspect of, keeping them paid, if they're working from home, how much longer can we do something like that? All right. And still be prosperous within our own company. And that's, they have to look at those things. Those are those are cost-cutting measures that companies need to take in order to survive this crisis. But they're also looking at it, is how can we make things better? They don't, the bear really doesn't, I say Taurus is on this, but as an aspect, this bear is looking at trying to make things better. So looking at the aspect of, okay, what's my business gonna look like after the crisis is over? I know we're gonna get back to selling our goods and making goods and things of that nature, but how's it gonna look like afterwards? Am I going to have to do something with my workforce to make it more lean? All right, and am I going to have to do something with my workforce to simplify my products, things of that nature? So the Queen of Stones could be making those decisions while everybody's staying at home, looking at the profitability of their organization, all right, and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. If this is an event, it's an expansive event. It's big, it's huge. It's also very liberal, but it puts family first. They'll look at events where, hey, let's go all down to Disney World, and everybody does it, with the family. It's a good vacation, all right. But let's put family first. We're going to stay at this hotel. It's going to be very, very big, but yet, they're going to be looking at the cost for it too and saying, is the cost right for what we want to do? And how do we want to, do this cost effectively to where everybody has a good time doing it? So the two questions that this Queen of Stones, this bear, asks is what needs to be preserved? What needs to be preserved today, moving forward, as possibly going through financial issues? What needs to be preserved? A good thing that I saw last night was looking at your credit card bills. All right. And, granted, we're lucky that we can make those minimum payments. Myself, I'd rather just pay it off. But, if you have that option to make minimum payments, you can do that. But look at your credit card bills and see where you're spending your money. Look at your subscriptions that maybe you don't even use. Okay. How can you, call them up? Stopped at $5 or stopped at $10, stopped at $25 subscription that you're not even being used, and get that off your credit card bill. That's going to save you a couple bucks down the road here, moving forward. What needs to be preserved as far as your mental aspect during this crisis. Could be just being able to go out and go for a run, go for a walk, clear your head, breathe in the good spring air. All right, and just enjoy the time that you have to, de-stress about work, de-stress about, possibly your relationships, in the past from work or anything like that. And, just enjoy what the time that you do have. I mean, you can only control what you can control. That's within yourself. If you can control, the world and everything else, we wouldn't be going through this coronavirus, because you'd have control over it. But unfortunately, we don't have control of that, and it's affecting everybody worldwide, and it doesn't make a difference on gender or race, or age. It's affecting everybody, and we're seeing some very popular people, move on to the other side due to, the coronavirus, as well as complications from the coronavirus. So, where else can you make space is the other question that this Queen of Stones, this bear, asks. Where can you make space within your own mind? How can you open yourself up to the universe? How can you open up yourself to, the love and light that comes from spirit, to help guide you? How can you open up to creating more space within your house? Is there something that, okay, you got this time to stay at home? Maybe it's a good time to, go through a closet, spring clean. What are some of those clothes you haven't worn in a while? Granted, you probably can't get rid of them to Goodwill, but you can definitely box them up, get them prepared, to go out to Goodwill or to a charity event or maybe even a lawn sale later on in the year. So where can you make space to possibly, think of it this way. If you do that lawn sale, You know, you put your clothes out there, maybe somebody buys it from you for, whatever. You get some money off of it. May not be top dollar, but now you've done two things. You've preserved some of that cash flow by bringing in stuff, but you've also made space within your own home of, opportunities to clear out things that you may not need. So that's today's card, that Queen of Stones, a bear. I hope you've enjoyed the synopsis of this card. Leave your comments down below. Hit that like button for me and subscribe to the channel. This is D for Spirits Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and God bless.